This gets a bit repetitive. I've said it a million times, but one of the great musical performers of our time, and she's so modest she wouldn't agree to that, but she is preparing to kick off her Australian tour. Listen to the voice. We shouldn't talk, really, because the music is too beautiful. Isn't that wonderful? I spoke to Katie Lang about 2 months ago when she released her aptly titled Watershed album. It was her first album, hard to believe, of original material in 8 years. But even better than that, as I said at the time, was that she was coming to bring her showcase of new material to us here, and of course as well as the hits that we love so much. Well, the wait is over. Katie Lang's Australian tour opens on Saturday night at the beautiful Tempest 2 Winery. I'm not too sure that she even understands where she's going there. A glorious, glorious spot. Let's hope they have wonderful weather in the Hunter Valley. Then it's on to Canberra on Monday, and then she returns to Sydney for a sellout show at the State Theatre on Wednesday. And there's another show there the following night. Now, you'll be extremely lucky to find a ticket, but I'm sure you can. You ring Ticketmaster or 136 100, or you can follow her around the country, Perth, Melbourne, Adelaide and Brisbane. And then she returns here for 2 more shows at the State Theatre on May 2 and May 3. Then it's a quick trip across the Tasman to New Zealand and home to Canada for more concerts. She's right here beside me. Good morning.
Hi, good morning, Alan.
Lovely to talk to you.
Thank you.
How do you feel about being back in Australia?
I'm happy camper right now.
Well, of course, there are very significant similarities between us here and where you were brought up.
Absolutely. I think the sense of humour is probably the common theme between us.
But look, it's a wonderful story. We were just saying while that ad was on that a bloke like Bill Clinton came from a little place in Hope, Arkansas, which was smaller than Scone here, which our listeners would understand. And KD comes from a place even smaller than that. I think the population, was 739?
Actually, it was 649 when I was growing up. It's boomed since I've left.
Now it's called as the hometown of KD Lang.
Yeah, Concert, Alberta. My mom still lives there, and it's. But you know, in a way, growing up in a small town prepared me for life in the public eye, because it basically, in a small town, everyone knows you and everyone knows your business, and in a way, it was like a precursor to being famous. So,
but you were a small town girl also, because you're innately shy, and because in a small community, going into the larger world is a fairly intimidating thing, isn't it?
I don't mean to be contrary, but I don't think I'm very shy.
Yeah, that's good.
I'm maybe snobby, but
no, you're not a snob. You're not a snob. How do you respond to these reviews, which are just unbelievable? I mean, the reviews of the shows have been sensational, and at the risk of embarrassing you, one review of a show in Florida said, "When Katie Lang sings, it's a gossamer trail of notes that seems beyond gravity, that ripple and suggest nuances we've never dreamed of. And in that bath of melody, we can actually feel them." Another review of the show said, "Anyone with a great voice can showboat. It takes much more than a great voice to touch a listener's heart. And anyone in attendance who had a heart felt it touched by Katie Lang." Lovely stuff. This is the voice. Do you know, Catherine, where did KD come from, Catherine Dawn? When did Catherine Dawn become KD?
I was in college. I was probably about 17 or 18 years old, and I felt more alternative and more androgynous, of course, than Catherine, and I thought Katie would be more appropriate for.
I was at a funeral, a very sad funeral recently, of a young lady who grappled with depression, which is mental illness, a terrible thing at the height of her prime, very successful, very young, and yet for whatever reason this overwhelmed her. And the family had put together this beautiful funeral service, and there was this haunting sound of K.D. Lang
Really?
singing that song,
Wow.
which she loved your music.
Mm.
And so, Holly, isn't that lovely? So the spirit of many people lived through this glorious music. Isn't it odd, though, that you got bored when you were taking musical lessons by all the exams and all that sort of stuff, didn't you?
Well, I'm not an academic person. I'm kind of more intuitive. Yeah. So studies kind of they make me a little bit.
But
jittery.
where did you were learning classical piano, and then had you done singing before that?
I was studying classical music, and my teacher suggested I try singing, and that was at the age of 5. So I started singing when I was 5.
And then you won a singing contest?
Yes, I won a few singing contests, and
And did you take that as an omen?
no, I honestly I knew innately that I was a singer, and I knew that's what I would do.
That is a wonderful thing you said, and I just to all the young ones listening out there, this is what Catherine Dawn said to the Sunday Times. I had an absolute sense of vocation. And for that reason, I never paid any attention to my studies at school. I failed everything, even my high school diploma. I only got into music college because it was the first year of the course and only 4 people applied. But isn't that wonderful to have this sense of vocation? Don't let any person sidetrack you.
Well, I think yes, I think that's true. However, I think that it you have to have such blinders on at that point. You have to know, and you have to be prepared for all sorts of obstacles and adversities, But if you're just driven, then it